When I first got to MCC Chicago, and that's another thing too, man. I mean, I know a lot of guys, they get on the podcast and they get out there and they're like, yeah, cops, it's bad for cops in prison and blah, blah, blah. And I can't speak for every prison, okay? I can only tell you about the mindset I was in when I went into prison. And when I went into MCC Chicago, that was the first place. As soon as you get in, right, they interview you. SIS interviews you. I'm sure they did the same thing with you. They want to know your background. I told them law enforcement, okay, well, you can't go up to the floor right now. You're going to have to go to the SHU first, and we got to make sure that there's nobody up there that you know. And I'm like, okay. So they put you in the SHU. You're down there for a couple of days. They do their investigation. They're like, you want to go up to population? I'm like, yeah, I want to go up to population. I'm not staying in this. It's a shithole in there in the SHU, right? So they put me up there in population. So I'm up in population, and you know how that is. It's a transit. So you're in there with guys, white-collar crime guys like you that aren't facing a whole lot of time, with guys that are doing life, that are back on appeal or going from one place to another. So you've got a bunch of people that know you. And it's segregated. You've got the Hispanics that are staying over here, the blacks that are staying over here, and the whites that are staying over here. And that was my first time experiencing that, right? So I get in there, things are going fine, and they're bringing in new chains that come through. And, people don't know chains are the buses, they call them chains. They bring in new guys that are in transit. Well, one day I come down, and there's a couple of guys, and I recognize them. I busted both of their asses. And so they see me, and they're like, what's up, Buford? We heard you were here, And I was like, yeah, I'm here. And they're like, yeah, old boy got you. They're talking about the guy whose house that I had broken into, right? They're like, we heard, what happened and everything. And they start talking a little bit of shit to me. Like, I mean, I think they're thinking because I was wearing a uniform out there, just because I was wearing a uniform, that's not really who I am, how I represented myself when I was out on the street, right? Or when I was busting on my cases. So they start talking a little bit slick to me or whatever. And I was like, look, man, I said, I don't know why you guys are even talking this crazy stuff to me. I said, but I'm getting ready to go down to a lawyer visit. And since I said I wasn't going to say anything to you guys, but if I come back from my lawyer's visit and you guys are still on this floor, I said, we're going to have a big problem. And they're like, what? And I'm like, you better be ready when I come back up from my lawyer visit. Because that's the mindset that I was in. I was already pissed off from everything I'd been through with the feds. I was pissed off at myself. I figured I wasn't going to come out of prison alive anyway. And I was just ready to mess somebody up.